Yo, what is happening, gang? Welcome to episode 3 of Inktober 2019 live here on the Couchdoodles live. What's this? It's a copy of The Grave. There aren't that many of them. Found out there are less than 2,000. In fact, there are 1,900 of them. This is a first printing of something I took a whole year to do. This cover, it's got a cool design of what's present day in the grave, and then you turn it upside down, and it's the story of the past. And then buried down here in the grave are these items, and we tell the story about each of these items one at a time. And this is a real place, this tree with this throne, as you'll be able to see in the book. Here it is, taken by my friend Fred Jackson, up in Martinez, in fact. I don't know if you guys ever been there. It's in California, Northern California. It's up by San Francisco. Anyhow, welcome anybody that's here, that's new. Welcome back anybody that's come the last couple days, or have been fans of the Instagram, the Couchdoodles Instagram, or anything that I do when I'm posting on social media. Most of those things are exercises for my brain to sharpen my skills. And I decided, hey, why not share them with people? What up, Chauncey? It's good to see you. Today's word is bait, right? And I was thinking about different things that we could do for the prompt word. I had one in mind. These are some sketches from this morning where I was just working out some anatomy and how the twist of an arm can change a gesture. You know, if you had the bicep pointing down or out, or this fist turned in or turned that way, how even though it has a similar silhouette, how the vertices of the planes and their orientation with one another. I know that sounds like crazy jarble talk, but it makes all the difference in the energy of something. So anyway, I was doing that this morning before I jumped into the He-Man layouts. Hey, what up, Zaid Comics? Today, in addition to doing the Inktober sketch of the day, I'll be sharing another one of my sketchbooks, and let you see kind of inside some processes. There's some storyboarding in here and some head sketches and things like that. And then sometime after that, we will jump into my original art and prints to show you some of the pieces up and in live and in person, up close. That sort of thing. There's a classic. And then I'll show you the He-Man poster as well. So those are some things. I just figured, why not share while we're doing some things. So again, today's word of the day is, oh dang, sorry, I got thrown off guard. Chauncey, I'm gonna bring that out. You brought up the first days at Image, and the very first thing that I ever had in print is this book right here, Brigade Number 2. This was October of '92 that this saw print, and in the very back was a pinup right here. Blood Brothers, sort of the precursor for Blood Strike and for Brigade. See that? Mickey '92, that's Danny Mickey. Colors by Snakebite. There's his name in there. I hid a bunch of other names in there. I'm always prone to hiding things in backgrounds. Except in He-Man. I'm not hiding anything in He-Man because that is a whole different bag. Okay, so... Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for checking out that Hellboy. That one was fun. That was a lot of fun. He's a fun character, and when I was talking with Mignola during his interview, I was telling him, as the best praise I could think of, when I look at his stuff, while it seems kind of simple, almost like if you had traced the values on a Frazetta painting, it looks very simple like that. But when you start getting into it, there's so much design and balance, and there's a thing called no-tan, which is the balance of dark values and light values. And he strips things down to the bare essentials and does it in such a fluid way where he tells a solid story. And anyhow, he's one of those guys where I just go, man, I don't know how you do what you do. I don't know why I got off on that tangent. Oh, because of Hellboy. That's right. I love Hellboy. It's one of the things that definitely mystify me, because he's working graphically in a way. I'm always thinking of things as forms and almost 3D in space when I'm imagining them, and sort of how the forms will form. But he's doing things with light and subtraction of all that doesn't matter and leaving only what matters in a way that is so mindful and elegant, and it hurts my feelings. Okay, so enough of that. Sorry, Mike Mignola, if you ever see this. All right, so let me see where my drawing range is on this, because it's the camera, it ends here, so I can't draw outside here. I'll draw here. All right, today's word is bait. So in my mind, I imagined this sort of diver guy, and he's captivated. So I do this little hand gesture, and you guys might think that's a good hand, but hands are something that are really one of the tough things. You know, there's a lot of ways you can go about learning hands. I know some guys that just don't, and they have sort of a bunch of stock hands. I'm somewhere in between, where I've got a bunch of stock hands, but I'm also trying to learn more about hands. In fact, I went to a workshop with John Gee was teaching, and before he did his lecture, a guy named Hyjin Kim, who is the guy founder of Super Annie, he did a workshop on hands and taught it in such a way that was so comprehensive that it's something that I'm very mindful of now when I'm drawing hands. I'm trying to get better. I'm not saying that I draw good hands, because it's still one of those things where I have to look at my own or whatever, but even when I see them in space, it's a psychological thing probably, I don't know. These are all things we need to get over. Like, I did an interview one time with a guy named Carl Potts, amazing dude, and he was giving advice, and I remember him talking about, I think it was working on Moon Knight, and how his weak spot was buildings, and how even in his other days, like when he was doing like samurai tales or you know, things of that nature, dragons in Japan and things like that, not a lot of buildings, but he said once he was on Moon Knight, he had to learn buildings, and he found that once he learned them, that he started to really enjoy drawing them. So that's one of those things where it's like sometimes you have to face some of these things head on, you know. If you have a problem with them, you face them head on and try every way you can to learn, because everybody learns different, you know. It's one of those weird things. Who's my favorite artist at this current moment? Current artist at the moment. That's tough. I mean, there's not a favorite per se, like one's better than the other, but there's a few that I'm really enjoying that I try to make sure I buy when they come out. I like Ryan Stegman's stuff. I like Kyle Holtz. I hope I'm saying it right. He's my buddy, and sometimes I don't know if it's Hotz or Holtz, but I think it's Holtz. He's just blows me away. Louis LaRosa. There's another guy out there that if you don't know him yet, you will know him. His name is Rob Willis. He's on Twitter. If you look up who is Rob Willis, he's got a project out there right now called Samurai Shinobi Sasquatch. I think that's exactly what it's called. I'm just blown away by the art. And if you go to his Twitter or his Instagram, and I don't know his Instagram, but his Twitter is who is Rob Willis. Just check out some of the stuff he posted. You'd be so blown away. It's kind of like it reminds me of Sam Keith, bit of Del Keown, some throwback Bernie Wrightson flavor, not necessarily technique, but flavor. He's awesome. So that's my answer, and I know I'm probably missing a bunch of people, but that, you know, kind of put me on the spot. And to be honest, man, I'm really into the classics. Like really into the classics. Like my spinner rack doesn't have much new stuff. Let's just put it that way. Oh, I hope I get to see the story too. Alright. So I'm drawing this diver guy here. Hopefully, yeah, that's great. He's in there. In fact, one of the things, one of the challenges that I'm trying to throw up myself with this third issue of He-Man is, like Chauncey said, Mignola, the master of negative space. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at that for several reasons. One, I find with guys like Kyle and guys like Rob and Mignola, Dave Finch, guys that use a lot of contrast and value in their work, that no tan, they have a whole different set of tools that for evoking certain emotions. And I know most of my career and most of my tendencies as far as likes in artwork fall more towards the cartoony guys, the guys who exaggerate. But they also, one of the other things is a lot of those guys don't really throw a lot of value into their stuff, at least the classic stuff. And this is just personal observation, but you look at old McFarlane, and I'm talking like 300 and stuff. There are areas of black, but generally speaking, there's no shadow and shading on characters in the same way that a Mignola or a Finch would do. Same with Arthur Adams or some of John Byrne. Guys like Neil Adams kind of ride it, and guys like Michael Golden can do pretty much whatever they want. If I had to say who's my all-time favorite, and it ebbed and flowed between when I started and who I enjoy now, as far as like the person that I was just like, I couldn't not look at their work. I was so blown away by it. I can, I kind of know oh, I'm reading this, sorry. Drawn's World Graphics. Ever seen any comics finished only in a few grades of graphite pencil? Yeah, I have. There's, trying to remember what it was called. It was from Brian Haberlin, and it was at Top Cow. The artist was Jay Anceletto. I can't remember the name of the book, but JayAnceleto, I think. The guy used to be a dentist, but he does these really amazing sort of graphite illustrations, and then they color on top of, they scan those and colorize them. Pretty neat stuff. So the I guess you can say, like, if you track influences, I'm gonna try to remember the order that my influences came in, but the very first comic images that blew me away before I knew names of artists were like guys like Mike Zeck doing Punisher, Rick Leonardi on Cloak and Dagger, and also Mike Zeck's G.I. Joe covers. Now, I didn't even know their names at the time, and then the first artists where I was like, who is this? And I wanted to know their name because it was so different, were John Byrne and Frank Miller, and most specifically Frank Miller's Dark Knight, and even more specifically the cover of number 2. So that stuff like blew my mind, and then I discovered guys like Art Adams and the Image guys, and so Todd McFarlane, major influence. Liefeld, especially in my early years, major influence. Jack Kirby down the line, Barry Windsor Smith down the line. But the guy who when I go, who's the best, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, all-time greatest, and I've told him as much, and he laughed at me, Michael Golden, hands down. And that's, again, my opinion, but the man can draw anything, and he can draw it well, and he can draw it exciting, and gives you a sense of motion, and gives you a sense of space, and there's cartooniness, and there's realism, and I don't know, can't say enough. Quick tips on grasping perspective, like a good starting point. It's seriously the hardest thing ever. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll do a quick one right now on perspective. This will change your life. This will change your life. Okay? So, all you got to know about perspective is the idea of where your eye is, where the observer is supposed to be. It's a sort of a plane. So your eye, no matter where you go, floats around. Your camera is on a horizon, and depending on your vantage point, you could have the vanishing point go to one perspective this way, 2 points, 1 point, whatever. But the thing you got to remember is this is where the viewer's eye is. Now, what's exciting about this and why you want to pay attention is this is like how I do pretty much everything when I have to go fast. Wherever this line falls on your key character, if your key character is standing, is where that line will fall on every other character within that plane in relation to that guy. What I mean by that is, let's say, I want to move this over a little bit. Let's say our guy is right here, and we're saying we're right about at the bottom of his rib cage, right? So I've got this guy. Now, anything above this line, we're looking up and under. So we would see under that chin, underneath the chest. Here it flattens out, but now as you go away, now you're looking down. Imagine it like like a cylinder like this. You're looking down at it, you're looking flat at it, you're looking up, like that. So think of that in that sort of way. Okay, now if I draw a person standing way back here, and I say there's the bottom of their rib cage, and I draw them in proportion, that person is now in perspective with this guy. Okay, and we can pretty much go, see, boom, vanishing point, like that. So let's say I drew someone even closer to the camera, so their rib cage is here, and we're seeing under their chin. I have to move this again. Seeing under their chin, they're still in perspective with the rest of these guys. So wherever that line falls is going to be pretty much where it's going to fall for everybody. That's simple 1 point. For down shots, I try to think of, like, let's say this is a panel, I try to think of the grid and where I am as a camera. I go, okay, well, that's now my vertical lines, and then I can do this, and if I have someone standing there, they go along with the vertical line, and if someone's over here, they go along with the vertical line. Someone's standing over here, they go along with the vertical line. I now have a down shot, and I'll throw cast shadows so you can see how they're on the floor, but I have a down shot based on 1 point perspective. What's up, Mr. Milton? Mr. Milton's in the building. All right, back to drawing. So here I've got this this guy. Taste the rainbow. You're a funny dude. Alright, this is my attempt of adding some value to this diver guy. Let's see where the top is. The top is here. I'm going to take the Couchdoodles bugs off for a second, so we have better real estate. And that's the top right there. All right. Right. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, Zaid, I don't know if I'm going Indiegogo or Kickstarter yet. I haven't really done full due diligence on which one is better option-wise. I know guys who have had successes with both of them. So I think I need to be the curious person that I am, and get some answers. There we go. Oh, I love Michael Kaluta. I met him back when I was 14 years old. And he was a very kind man. This is before I even knew his art. He was just a really nice guy. He was at WonderCon in Oakland back in '88, and he was just a sweet dude. And then I discovered how awesome he was as far as his artwork. He's incredible. That's a good question, Chauncey. Your question, do I think in general comic art has evolved or not so much that you stick to the older stuff on my spinner rack? Well, here's my stone cold opinion, and it's, again, my opinion. There are a lot of guys that are doing incredible work out there, and this is regarding generally speaking. They comics now are looking more like movies on paper, and they don't utilize. And I talked about this at on the first Inktober about how we have tools as comic book artists that are very unique to comics, and there are techniques that are evocative. I found that most of my favorite artists were people that distort reality and you know what I'm saying, like exaggeration and a character like Lobo. If the reason why I don't think they can get him exactly right in live action is that part of his charm, at least when Simon Bisley was doing him, was his proportion and those faces. And yeah, obviously there's the attitude, but like there's a degree of exaggeration that describes the character. I don't know. Yeah, Blast Shield. You're exactly right. The old horizontal storyboard style panel, and it's so limiting. I just feel like it's really limiting as far as using the tools that comics have. We have uh, different things. Like, one of the things that writers have in comics is that thought balloon, the inner dialogue. Uh, and maybe those are pastiche and outdated too, but I see them now in captions instead of thought balloons. They're just captions, but it's still inner dialogue at the end of the day. Uh, sorry. I still think there's value in it, but for my likes and interests, uh, I just feel like uh, fun and exaggerated is fun, and I don't know if that is a sign of my age. I don't know, it's just the stuff I've always been drawn to is, like I said, exaggerated. Guys like Sam Keith, like I said, that Frank Miller Dark Knight 2 cover pretty much says it all. That is one grizzled, beat down, but I'm not giving up style Batman, and those proportions are not good as far as if you're comparing it against realism, and when I buy in on Dark Knight, if it was drawn photoreal, or imagine Dark Knight drawn photoreal with proper lensing and proper proportions and very horizontal panels. Imagine Dark Knight. Imagine that story. Part of the success of that story is the dressing, the set, the world that Miller puts you in. He did it in Sin City. He did it in Daredevil. He did it, Ronin. Those are all decidedly different worlds. Elektra Lives Again. Those are just like incredibly decided worlds, and none of them are photoreal. Kyle does do a great Lobo. I've seen things, and yeah, he's bananas, that guy. There we go. Get some of those fins in there. You know what's funny is, and again, this is like blasphemy, I guess, is I'm a huge fan of Kyle's, and I see some of the Kelly Jones influence, but I was never really into Kelly Jones stuff. But I can't, nothing bad about it. It's just not a flavor I enjoy. What up, No Name? How are you, sir? And I hear Kelly's a super nice guy too. That's the other thing. Is he's a super cool dude, and I know Kyle is friends with him. And his artwork is just fine. I just wasn't into it. I feel bad for saying that, but I've heard plenty of people say that about my stuff. So, and I'm a big boy. I find faults in my own stuff every day. The biggest challenge for me lately is just being able to draw faster. I want to be able to be more efficient, so I can get more stuff out of my head and on paper. It's one of those things, and I'm not slow by any stretch, but I would like to be faster. go. So yeah, the idea I got for this today's prompt word of bait. I feel like for me it might be slightly low hanging fruit, you know, like an anglerfish, and pretty literal with the bait. So I don't know. I'm trying to be fun with it regarding the satire in it, with the bait being a phone. Not a very well drawn phone, might I add, but phone nonetheless. As soon as we're done with the drawing, I'll do a quick run through that other sketchbook, so I can show you the kind of drills I do that maybe some of you might be inspired by and want to bring into your own drawing routine. You know, one of the guys that I really started getting into in the past couple of years is, and I've always liked his stuff since he was the mastermind behind How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, but John Buscema, you know, I always liked his stuff, but at a convention I came across the fact that he drew on the backs of a lot of his pages. There were also a lot of just sketches everywhere. And I was like, holy shit, I do that. Like, that's like, there's doodles on everything in my house, you know? And then I thought about, like, oh, you know, like, here he is. He doesn't have to do these drawings. These are like neurosis, you know, like he does them because he feels more compelled versus he's got a job to do. And a lot of these sketches are so beautiful, but one of the things I also learned is that he was working ideas out, you know, how cloth falls, how shifting weight on characters, how far to push it. And you know, I think one of the fun things about sketching is they're low stakes. You know, if we take it and go, hey, if I mess up, it's a-okay, because it's I'm having fun while I do it and I'm learning, you know. So Buscema's stuff, when he said he draws all the time and you know he's constantly sharpening his sword, I was like, yeah, man, that's a real nice way to look at things. Let's see. Samurai Astro. Bloodstrike drawing I gave you signed from the 2019 East Coast Comic Con. Well, dude, I'm glad you have it, man. You didn't flip it. That is a good thing, you know. I appreciate that, and hopefully you'll keep it. And if you like to draw, if you go, man, that triggers me and makes me want to draw, that's what's up. That's what we're trying to do. No Name is asking, are you able to see all the details before you draw them? So this is a question I get asked a lot, and I've been trying to find the most clear way of explaining it. So some days I see it super clear, like it exists completely, right? So let me sign this real quick. Let's call this one done. Almost forgot what year it was. There's a reason for that. I was thinking about Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld, it's his birthday today, and I was like, oh man, I've known him for almost 30 years. Okay, anyway, back to the question regarding the question about do I see details. On this particular one, I saw something in my mind that was very compositionally identical to this. The thing I see in my head has a lot more light, but I also realized that if I was to do that, I wouldn't even be able to talk to you guys at all. So this is also like, yesterday I talked to you guys about how doing a live stream helps me too. It gets me in gear. So being able to talk and draw and getting better at that is going to be such a fundamentally great asset to have down the line when I'm able to spread the word more and be more efficient. So rewinding back, my apologies. The thing I saw in my head has a little more detail. I see caustic light coming down. I wanted to do a better expression on him. This fish I wanted to make bigger, but I realized after seeing how much camera space I had that I had to rein it in, so I had to kind of change it in my head. But then there's other days where it's kind of bad, and like for example, the thing that we just did, it would have been in my head kind of like this, like the shape of the fish and what he was holding, and not really the gesture of the guy, but the fact that he was this small in relation to that. So that was the only real detail that I would have on a bad day, right? On a medium day, I get a little more than that, and what I can do is capture sort of an essence of the outline of the thing. So I can say like, oh, here's the outline of it. So this is like on a medium day, I would go, okay, this was kind of the outline of it in my mind's eye, and then sectionally, like I can go, oh yeah, and I can kind of isolate that part in my mind that oh yeah, there are these tentacles that are wrapped around the phone, and then I can kind of scan along and go, okay, I can fill this in, and kind of almost like a Terminator fill it in. And because I know the outline and I captured it, I can fill it in. And then there's other days where literally the thing is in front of me and I'm able to put the details in. So hopefully that answers the question of do I see it fully detailed in my head? Not all the time. Most of the time it's somewhere in between here and fully detailed. Bad days it's like this. And also when you get into page layout, let's say you have so many specific incidents in your mind, and you know, doing the horizontal thing, you go, okay, they're walking down a hall, they're talking. Oh, okay, let's continue the talking. I can do a head here and the other person here. Oh, okay, let's do a camera boom down shot. Okay, that's here and here, and then somebody's really intense, you know. Oh, there. Oh, right. Like for me, that's easy layouts, and I can do these because I'm sticking to like really vanilla, very clear but very vanilla storytelling. Okay, the kind of storytelling I'm a fan of is, let's say those same people were walking, and I wanted a water cooler and somebody's hand filling a cup in the foreground, and we're saying that the vanishing point is down here, the knees. So that's that guy and the girl that were walking, right? And then I can have some atmosphere and light. So now you're seeing the let me slide this down. My apologies. You're seeing the floor and the people, a little flavor of water cooler, and you can do other things too. Like if I did this and had like a fruit basket, you go, oh, I know what kind of office that is, right? But now I created this long vertical panel, and we want to have them still talking, right? Well, one of the things I might do instead is draw some feet, and that's a little flavor accent of like, if this guy is wearing Converse per se, right, and he's in an office environment, but she's wearing some expensive Jimmy Choos. If I had just cut to the close-up like I did before, like this, you don't get that idea so much, right? You can see those little shoes down here, but you don't get that idea so much. And maybe she's saying something serious to him. That's why in panel 3 I have that down shot. So maybe her saying something serious, I might solo out her. Actually, she was on this side, so I'll solo her out like this and have her overlap that panel just a little bit to give it a bit of graphic emphasis. Here's that word balloon. And then his rebuttal, maybe he leaves her like cold, whatever he says leaves her cold. Boom. That's a cup. That's someone filling their water. We're now on the other side of the water cooler, and they've walked this far down the hall. Okay, so now I've got long, interesting environment, additive details of water cooler. It tells you what kind of office it is. The shoe types tell you about these people. She's large and saying something, and then they stop, and clearly they walked because they're on that side of the water cooler, and now they're on the far side. So we can see that there was some travel here, and maybe he's saying something to her that is like a touche move to her, right? And it's a low blow, and this kind of like is a compactor. It's crushing. She's small. He's small for saying it like that. Whatever. You're creating additive mood. These are tools of comics, whereas these are tools of cinema, and they could be saying the identical shit. They could literally be saying that, and that person thought a close-up of him going, oh yeah, well here's this, and that's that. These are the same story beats. Walking, 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 close-up. Walking, walking, talking, stopping, crushing. Anyhow, that is I don't even know why I got on that tangent. Anyway, the reason why layouts take me a little bit longer is there's a lot of information in the scripts that need to be told, and you have to kind of configure where your camera goes and keep it interesting graphically at the same time. So it's a lot harder than visualizing a singular image. Let's see, what other questions are we having here? How is it to see Kim Jong-gi in person doing his thing? I can't get over his stuff. I think he's an alien for sure. Star-Lord. First time I ever met Jung-gi was in the winter of 2014. So I'd been aware of his stuff for 2 years. And when I first saw it, I was like, this is a trick, and maybe he's erasing stuff. And then, what was kind of crazy is I got a like from him from this sketch that I had done of a glass of whiskey. I'd painted this glass of whiskey, and I was like, he knows who I am, like that sort of like, oh my God. So when he was signing, I went to see him, and I brought my sketchbook, and I said, I'm the guy that did this drawing, and he doesn't speak English. he has an incredible staff with him, and his translator was saying, "Oh yeah, he knows your stuff and likes what you do." And I said, I'm so just blown away with what what you do. I would love to understand what it is you're doing, and that was the first time I'd ever heard anything about bounding boxes. And sort of how he visualizes things with bounding boxes. And I'll show you what he means by that. And this is his technique, and I can see how it works. He visualizes in his mind's eye bounding boxes. So again, going with the point of view, let's say our vanishing point is right here. Well, if I had a box, a bounding box above it, oops, sorry guys, bounce that out. If I had a bounding box going above it and over here to the below it to the side, and another one flat, pretty much flat. These are boxes in space that are corresponding to the same reality. Well, he has visual knowledge of all these things, so if he's going to draw a motorcycle, he imagines that the wheel, that wheel would be here, that wheel would be there, tailpipe would be here, go into the engine, and the license plate, the chain, that sort of thing. And I'm not going to do as good of a job as he can, but he puts that motorcycle in that box, and if there's let's say it's a car, right, and he does those really good curved perspectives, he sees that bounding box and he puts that person here, and then he's thinking about the relationship between that motorcycle and this person. So if something was above this person's head, how it would fit in space. I know this is all like a bunch of crazy talk, but he literally imagines these invisible boxes and fills them up. That's what was explained to me. All right, the question I get now is from Chauncey. Do you draw comic pages traditionally still or digital, and why? I do a hybrid. So, for example, the He-Man pages, and I have some of them in front of me. These are ones I did not ink, but Richard Friend ended up inking, but I was going to ink them. So I draw in Procreate on an iPad Pro, and then I print them out, right, in blue. So here we have my loose pencils for myself to ink, and then I hand ink over this. So I don't care for digital inks so much. There's it all goes back to all the stuff that I was saying in regard to old comics. I feel like part of the reason I like McFarlane's stuff is because of his line, not just the poses, but his line, and because of the imperfections. And the reason I like Sam Keith is because of the line. And Sam Keith, if I try to imagine Sam Keith inked digitally, and it would be so clean and crispy that it would be like artificial funk, like it's just not the same. And that's speaking from a guy who wanted to do digital inks. They just they weren't for me. So anyway, the answer is it's a hybrid. Okay, so here we go. Let me see if I can get this situated. You guys can see what this setup looks like. I've got this camera again on this bouncy rig. Trying to get it to be wider, but what I can do is just pull it off. Right, we're gonna do this. Switch over here. Here we go. I'll pretend I'm your eyes. So this is a brand of sketchbook that I like. It's It's made by Strathmore Vision. Um, oh, cool. My son put his Pokemon sticker in there. That's awesome. I love it. I'll always remember this. This is kind of crazy. Little things like that. So this here, when I work with directors, like this one here was for an episode of Doom Patrol. I can just tell by my notes. When I work with directors, we communicate in really quick thumbnails. And this is sort of a way we block things out, like where people would be standing and where cameras will go. And I take copious notes while doing that. I might do it in person. I might do it in over Skype. So, you know, these are my. It's sort of like stenography, I guess. So then, here is I keep notes for myself, but I also will just practice gestures, and these are all out of my head. I'll tell you if it's like something where I'm like, oh, that's so crazy, I gotta copy that and learn from it. But these are all everything here is out of my head. These are all like head studies, trying to dial in a vibe. And from touching this, I can tell this was dipping pen. This was nib. I can feel it. And then like this is brush. This is using brush pen. Here is some more stuff. A little bit of shine on that bad boy. Practicing. How do I get that shine off of there? Practicing hair. This was an idea. This is Raiden from Black Flag, and I was imagining that snakes hold on his cape, and when he flies, the snakes would kind of spiral out. Just like fun graphic things. This was another sort of study of twists, not just the gesture of the leg, but the twist of it. Sometimes it goes a little far, like this was a little far, but you know, exaggeration, you got to see where you can go with it. Some more faces, lots and lots of faces. That's something I feel like I could always work on getting better. This one is something I think I was drawing from a photograph or something. This one is one. Just a regal caped superhero. Thinking about that sort of thing. Some more working out planes. This is brush pen. Some more brush pen. This is another attempt at trying to add more black to my artwork. I think this is the very first time I ever drew He-Man with no reference or anything. It was just a vibe. I like the way I draw him more now. Some more stuff. I think this was playing around with the concept of line thicknesses, right? So the thickness of lines gives so much indication of volume just by how thick things are. So this is something I'm trying to think more about too. When I ink, I kind of do it naturally, but as a penciler, I've always been kind of flatline. Some more playing with some exaggeration and adding more shadows. This is King Hiss from He-Man. Trying to understand back muscles a little better. Some more value, popping those bloops of black in there to kind of give a little more solid feeling to the volume and shapes. There's Hordak. That's like the last sketch in this book. So let's see. What did I say I would show you guys next? Oh, that's right. So that guy that I don't know if he's still on here. Mr. Milton, are you still? Yeah, there you are. There you are, Mr. Milton. Mr. Milton is the owner of this original art. He was one of the few people that bought. I put out this limited edition T-shirt back in 2015 called Ultra Pop. It was limited to a run of 100. We only ended up making like 24, 25 of them. And randomly, I put all the names in a hat and I pulled it out. And Mr. Milton won the original. This is the first time I had drawn Sniper in a really long time. I mean, this was almost 5 years ago. But yeah, he's got that piece, man. Let's see what else is in here. These are some convention prints. The recolor of a drawing that I'd done back in the day. Some more black flag, black and white print where you can see Sniper and the gang. This is another print. This is the inside of the sketchbook. But this was kind of one of those pieces where I saw the whole thing and I saw the shapes and kind of had to fill in the blanks, but the idea was this sort of vortex. As we pulled out of it, it got intense and kind of anyway, filled it with stuff. Here we go. There's another one. This was another piece of social commentary that I'd done. I forget what the prompt word I think was hungry, right? And okay, so here, these are originals here. So if any of you guys are fans of the Bloodstrike cover that I've done recently, this is the original. And I did the logo. I wanted it all chewed up. I always enjoyed seeing covers with busted up logos, so I asked Rob if I can do that, and he was cool with it. And this was another attempt at using more black in my work. I wanted a strong light source and really kind of give the illusion of gore without doing too much. I mean, I put a bone in some shapes, right? But like when you look at that, that looks like, oh my god, it's so gnarly. So also playing with visual cues. I knew that if I ran this up and over and had dripping, that there would be this illusion that this was kind of going and snaking all the way back like he had been walking towards us. So I wanted a degree of storytelling in little notes like that. These are things that you know, are not obvious, but like subconsciously we are seeing storytelling in that, you know. And pieces of the logo on the ground. Looks like maybe he was so pissed off. Who knows? Here's another one from that series. This is Cabot, and I said I knew in my head what I wanted on this one. I wanted him ejecting the shells, like he had just boom, and then a explosion in the background of what he'd just done, and then he expels the things. So I wanted sort of the wind of the gust of the blast, and the shells blowing out simultaneously. And I was thinking about Judgment Day, how those skulls against the fence, you know. So I thought, you know, some skulls in there would be fun. This is all just weird shit that I think about when I do it, but that's sort of like the idea. Oh, and I also wanted to play with the idea of this big giant X on the cover too. This, guys, is the very, 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 very first appearance of Sniper from Extreme Zero. I still have it. Thank you to Mr. Scanlon, who had it for some time and got it back to me. This is a piece that was done by Rob Liefeld. Again, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Rob. So this is his Bloodstrike cover. He gave it to me in the form of a sketch, and I turned it into this. I always enjoy those sort of collaborations with Rob, because it's like the stuff that I liked the most was when he was inked by Todd. It's because I always felt like this other sort of third hybrid existed, and I liked it. So I enjoy being able to do stuff like this. This is a piece that I had done for Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man -1. I got to draw Stan Lee, and this is the only time I ever got to draw Spider-Man in a Marvel comic. This panel and the last panel. The whole issue was about the Red Goblin and some other things. But the reason I still have this and won't ever sell it is Mr. Stan Lee signed it for me. And it's even more special because this was a time where he was a fan of the Ricky Gervais show, and his office called mine and invited us to come visit him. So I went to visit him. He didn't even know I drew for Marvel. He didn't know any of that stuff. He just knew that I was the guy that directed the show he liked, which was a really incredible feeling because every time I get around him, I feel like a giddy. You know, he was in the comics and he's a real guy, and like, anyway, it's just a weird thing. But anyway, he signed this for me during that time, and that's why I have it. Boom! I have to thank my friend Carlos. He bought these a few years back, and we had an agreement that if he was to ever need to sell them for any sort of reason ever, that I would be first on that list, and he honored that. And they're not leaving me, and if I ever decide to sell them, he gets first dibs. So Carlos is the man, and I'm again so very glad to have, especially this guy, this one back. This was done way back in September of 1994, 25 years ago. Can you believe it? And this was a poster. This was a skateboard. This was sort of like part of the iconography of Black Flag. And it's kind of cool when I met Ryan Stegman. You guys asked earlier about guys whose art I like. I met Ryan Stegman at the Terrificon in Connecticut, and he told me that Black Flag was one of the books he used to dig back when he was in high school, and that just kind of made my day because it's like, you know, full circle stuff. Like, I told him, I enjoy what you're doing, man. It's full circle. That's great. Another one where I drew the logo in because I wanted to break it up, bust it up, and this was my idea of Melee. Now, this cover, and I don't think I've said this before, but this cover was my ode to Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man 5 cover, and I might be able to pull it up. You guys, you stay on this, and I'll see if I can pull it up on my phone so you can see the one I'm talking about. Most of you know. Spider-Man 5 McFarlane. Hopefully it'll pop up. Yeah, there it is. Bazinga. Alright. So I very much wanted this to feel like this. You guys remember this? See how I have everybody facing, going from left to right, the overlapping smoke. See how he's got the rubble, put rubble, he had dripping water, I put that dripping water in there, busted pipes, sort of that cross action of that cross beam, some smoke back there. So this was like the super ode to that cover, because that's like one of my favorites, absolute favorites of Todd's. All right, and then what's the last thing that I can show you? Oh, this is some other stuff I picked up that I'm here's some of Tim Seeley's awesome artwork How cool is that? Gotta get that shit up on my wall. So I told you guys about like the dude who is my favorite. It's Michael Golden. Now, you gotta realize that this is like, you go, oh my damn. Look, I mean, I'm getting way down in there so you can see the detail. This is the actual size of the piece he had done too. But this is 1980. This was done in 80. Okay, this is ahead of its time. This is a Art Sudan piece that I own from Epic Illustrated. Isn't that beautiful? It's ink and watercolor. This is the original, and it's just it's so stunning. I get blown away. Get completely blown away. Oh, I got the black and white Bloodshot by Seeley, Brett Booth, and Dave Sharp. And actually, I think they need to be putting Adelso Corona's name on that bad boy too. Here is the poster for He-Man. And the Masters of the Multiverse. In stores November 2019. By your dude, Tim Seeley. Drawn by Frigaboo. Alright, and that's it. And I have a few of these, and these will probably end up becoming prizes too. Again, I gotta figure out how to do it, so you guys need to stay tuned. My apologies on that. So I'm gonna turn off camera 2, put on camera 1. Camera 2 is turned off. If you guys have any other questions or anything, now is the time. We have 5 minutes. 5 minutes for Q&A. There we go, brightness. Bam. Turn up the brightness. All right, let me see if I miss some. I got to squint. I apologize. See, I have you guys running right here. Dope T-shirt, Gizmo Kaka. Oh yeah, Astro Samurai. Gray paper sketchbook. Yeah, those are fun, man. I think we talked about different whiteout techniques too. A lot of comic work these days don't appreciate imperfections. Gotta have them. The Control Z. Right. My work has evolved, hopefully in a good way. Peter, what's up, man? Sorry I missed your comment, man. That was from a while ago. If you're still here, I am on deadline. I am hardcore working on He-Man, and I'm actually gonna be 2 days behind. I wanted to be done with my layouts by tomorrow, but Seeley has written such a tale, and there are literally panels that have over 20 characters on them, and these pages are kicking my ass in a great way, fun way, and a challenging way. But yeah, there's no way. I got to use this weekend to work. Let's see. Hell yeah, the FIFA series. Yeah, Raw Inks. Thank you. That's the exact thing I gave you at the Comic-Con for free. That's right. I am known to give away free shit. What run of Michael Golden's is the best to read? Okay. I'm going to ask you a question back. All right? When you say read, do you mean like, oh, this was a really fantastic story, great tale, I'm glad I read it? Or is it, yo, this comic was fucking bananas. The story was okay, but like, this was bananas. Because there's different things, like the G.I. Joe annual that he had done. I liked the story. I think it might have been Larry Hama, but it wasn't anything, like, it wasn't gonna change your life. Nothing really happened in it. It was nice and fun, and a lot of back and forth action. That to me is one of. See, I have a whole Michael Golden section right here. You're gonna talk to me about Michael Golden. We're gonna get into Michael Golden. Okay, so one of the finest drawn comics of all time. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, that's still kind of glary. Doctor Strange. Okay, Doctor Strange number 55. This is when I should have turned that damn camera back on. Hold on a second. Live is interesting. Remote camera. Okay, I gotta add this camera. Give me a second. Boom. Boom. I gotta wait for this thing to turn blue. There it is. And boom. Here we are. Much better view. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Doctor Strange 55. It's incredible. This came out in 1982, and you're seeing just crazy banana details. And this is a really good one because it's a mind. It messes with your mind. A rather well drawn comic is Spartan X. This is all Michael Golden, and it's well drawn. The story is fair to middling, as my grandma would say. Didn't change my mind on anything, but really just incredible artwork. Here's the G.I. Joe annual, and here is the Marvel Fanfare. So this G.I. Joe annual, I've had it so long that the cover has come off. But when you see something like this, full page vehicles that are looking like they're moving 1,000,000 miles per hour, you know, the trees are snapping, the distortion on that wheel, it's like it bounced, and you're seeing it sort of mid-bounce, right? Like, that's the beauty of Michael Golden. It's like cartoony, like that's a cartoony face, but you feel like it's real. You could grab it. Look at this, the Jeep skidding out, and that's lens distortion. He put lens distortion and made the car feel like it was bending with the motion of things. Things always feel like they're moving. Look at this skid. You can feel it. You can sound effects. You can really feel it's like flattening out on one part. You could tell it's skid because of his energy lines. This is why I like Michael Golden. He's full-fledged, right? Here's something interesting. This background was McFarlane grifted it in in Spider-Man #1. I only know that because I know this book so in and out. But this is another Michael Golden book. I mean, come on, look at that. It's Nick Fury inside a spaceship. It's all red lit. You know, you feel it. You feel it, and it's super cartoony, super exaggerated, but realistic lighting, cast shadows, environment, mood. You know, look at that. Leaving this light into regular light, and the transition in between. Anyway, this is Peter. Thank you, man. Thank you. I just saw your reply. Yeah. I feel the same way. All my social media feeds is just filled with New York Comic Con, and it's I go, dang, I wish I was there, but no, I gotta make this stuff so people will be excited that I'm there, like He-Man. Look at this piece of tech. Look at that. I mean, look at that. It's very Kirby-esque. It's its own thing. You get a real sense of, you know, he's doing realistic light, but that's an exaggerated Hulk. Those are exaggerated characters. That's exaggerated tech. Anyway, sorry, I went long-winded again. Michael Golden is worth checking out. And then I would say the one that people argue as his best piece of work, usually it's between that Doctor Strange and Avengers Annual 10. This is pretty damn good, is what I have to say about that. There we go, better focus. I mean, this was, what year was this one? I don't remember what year this was. I think this was 80, but I could be wrong. It's not in this indicia because this is a reprint. But there was one particular, I mean, come on. I'm chilling, having coffee in a hospital. I'm Spider-Woman. I'm on a wall. Like you don't have to say shit like that. Like, but he did, and it's great. You know, you get a sense of people and the fact that some of these buttons are buttoned and some aren't. You know, boots, very stylized, tells you what that person's about. But here, I'll show you the one panel in particular that I had to ask Michael about when I saw him, because I said, man, why do you care so much? Because that's really what it boils down to. I said to him, why do you care so much? And his answer to me was, I'm just doing my job. I'm there to tell a story, and that's that. And I said, yeah, but you don't have to go as far as you go to tell that story. I mean, here's a down shot of Xavier's school. Or no, sorry, this is not Xavier's. This is the Avengers Mansion. My apologies. But window panes, bushes, shrubbery, you know, all that. But the one that I had in question for him, and I said to him, if you didn't care, you wouldn't have drawn the beast sipping tea with a cake on a plate, reading a book with his feet, with illustrations in the book. This cart did not have to be so ornate. This butler did not need to put a napkin underneath that cup. These are all, and I mean, look at it. In the grand scheme of things, it's this panel here, right? Blurry again. But that's what I'm saying. This is why I like Michael Golden. Is he's like, there's just these sort of nested details that go beyond. Oh, here's one. Look at this. Prison at nighttime, right? Of course, there wouldn't be any light on the top. That's why they're all filled in. And then this area here. And by the way, he colors his own stuff too. So that's the other thing that's kind of awesome. Is he knows what he's doing, and he knows where he's going with the color. I mean, look at that. Not realistic at all, but very realized in a realistic feeling. Anyhow, Michael Golden, guys. It's I can go on and on and on. I got tons of Michael Golden. His Batman stuff is great too. All right, let's cut back. Thank you guys again for joining. If you guys enjoyed what you see, what you hear, I know obviously I sound tired, but I'm doing these at the end of the day of drawing, like, you know, 8 hours straight, sometimes 10 hours straight of just drawing. So my mental capacity is a little ground down at times, and also, like I said, working on the talking and drawing. But anyway, thank you so much. You've been watching Couchdoodles Live. That's right, you've been watching Couchdoodles Live. So I hope you guys are well. See you soon.